Time is love. Time is our most precious resource. Your time is your life. And in this video, we're going to be talking about how to maximize your time to maximize your life. Let's get into it right now. What's up, everybody? I'm Xavier Garcia, and this is the Ultimate Psychology channel. Welcome. We're going to be discussing some of my time management tips to help you, be more efficient and maximize the pleasure in your life. So, the one thing about time is that it's the one thing that we all share in common. We all have the same amount of time, and that's right now in this moment. Life is precious. Okay, we know we've had a past, but we also don't know how much time we have in the future. This is not to stress out about it, but what we can do is control this moment. Because in actuality, we don't control time, but we can control ourselves and how we can choose to show up in this moment. So what I'm going to be discussing is some of these things on what I do to maximize the fruits of my life. You got to begin with the end in mind. If I'm thinking here, at the recording of this video, I'm in my mid-30s, and I want to think about what's my ultimate goal in life? What's my ultimate challenge? Because when you look at your ultimate challenge in life, and this is how I looked at it in the past, and that's how I've gotten to where I am today, right now, is that I was trying to figure out, what I realized is that life is a self-improvement project. And I wanted to get to my life where, I can go to God and He calls me good and faithful servant, or that the point is that at the end of my life, or that I fulfill or realize my fullest potential, that I came here on earth, I came and I lived my life, and I came to do what I was meant to do and become who I was meant to become. And so, we don't know how much time we have, so we have to start planning our days to be productive, but then also to make it enjoyable. So it's imperative to know your why. Like, why are you here? Why do you exist? And one great question that I heard is that you can ask yourself, why shouldn't I kill myself this morning? Right? When you first thing you wake up in your bed, right? Like, why should you even be alive? Why should you even exist? Well, I get to turn over and I get to see my beautiful wife, okay? But I didn't always have her there. But I also knew that I had innate potential inside of me, that I wanted to live life without taking my song with me to the grave. I want to live my life full out to the fullest, express all my colors. And that's good enough for each and every single one of us, is to play your song, right? To write your book, to do your act. And so that's my why. And pretty much we all have a why. Having a why is universal. So once you know your why, you take initiative on that action, whether it's to fulfill your fullest potential, and when you begin, attacking this this project, you're going to have challenges, and that's okay, because your greatest challenge turned inside out is actually your greatest glory or your ultimate goal. And it's imperative that you start today, that you start now, because you build momentum as you go. So, because it says, once an object starts in motion, it tends to stay in motion. But once you get that momentum going, you're going to be more likely inclined to actually achieve that goal. You don't want to end up at the rest of your life realizing that you didn't, come here to do what you were meant to accomplish. My pastor, Pastor Miles at the Rock Church in San Diego, he likes to say, and this is just his humble opinion, it's not necessarily scripturally based, but that God takes us when we've served our purpose, or when we're not going to serve our purpose at all. So be sure that you come here that you served your purpose well. So now that we've identified what our major definite purpose is in life, and this is our key organizing principle, we want to prioritize activities that's going to help you achieve that goal. And so for me, my goal is to create an awesome life, and the components of that is having awesome, extraordinary relationships, awesome dynamic health, and abundant financial resources, and living a great lifestyle. So once I decided that, I said, okay, well, I need a wife, I need to make, and so then I have to set out the things and objectives on who I need to become to attract the ideal mate. And then once I meet her, what kind of activities are we going to do that is going to be awesome experience, like a level 10 out of 10 of a supernatural life. So that way, that category, that component of relationships is 100% fulfilled, and I'm living life to the fullest in that category. And so that would be, if you awesome life is the umbrella, then that pillar of relationships is taken care of 100%. And of course, relationships are ongoing and ever evolving, hopefully to bigger and better things when you're actually doing the activities that enhance your relationship. Same thing for your health. You have to have, whether it's going to be meal prepping, you have to, do some research on what your nutrition is going to be, what kind of exercises you're going to engage in, so you have that energy in life so you can go out there and conquer and dominate, and so on and so forth with your finances. So whatever your overarching goal is, you got to now break it down into subcomponents, and then even lower and smaller. So that way you can put it in the smallest pieces, because how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time.
Yeah.
So now you have this master list. It's probably 1,000 activities that you need to do. That's okay. Don't overburden yourself. Just do what you can with what you have right where you are. Okay, so one great way now that you have these lists and these areas is you're probably already using a calendar, a wall calendar, or Google Calendar. Start using these things as tools, because your schedule is your vehicle. And I got this idea, this concept at work. I was at work one day, and my boss, she's real nice, Jill Martin, and she doesn't have our to-do list or our to-do tasks. She has a job flow. And yes, it has what we're doing and the times that we're going to be doing it, but just even having the title, job flow, that makes it feel much more, baby, what did you call it?
Relax. A relaxed pace.
It allows you to go at a relaxed pace, but yet at a pace that is still productive and that is conducive for the tasks of the day. And you can put these tasks or these goals, and the best way to do it is to write your goals at night, or write out your schedule at night for the next day. On Sundays, I like to put out my weekly timeline, and because once you have that in place, you have your mindset, you have the framework, you have the structure. So when you go out and you do your day, you're more likely to execute on those goals, rather than trying to remember and just be wandering, because we're going to get things thrown at us all day, and we have to be able to fight through that stuff, and so that we can still focus on our goal, keep our eyes on the prize. When you're doing this, and here's a motivator when you're actually writing your goals or setting out your schedule, is that 1 minute in preparation saves 10 minutes in execution. So that's going to save you a lot of time. And anytime that I think of a goal, I'll write it down real quick. I'll go write it on the calendar. If I'm talking with somebody, to have a meeting with someone, I could put it in my my Google Calendar, but sometimes you only see the week there, or maybe perhaps a month. But on a wall calendar, I'll have, I'll go up and I'll write it. So when I'm flipping through, or I can see it 3 weeks away from now. I'll see it every day. It's on my wall. Actually, I'll show you a picture of it right now. Right, it's the best year ever calendar. That's what my family we like to call it. So we'll use this calendar because we can kind of not control, but we can kind of see we can predict and foresee what the foreseeable future is like, but we can't always see what the long-term future is like. But so it's important to put those things and those dates in, to lock them in, because what gets scheduled gets done. And goals with deadlines are the best. You have your to-do list, but you also have to have deadlines. So that way it forces you to close in on your goals. If you don't have goals with deadlines, you might just, I'll get to it tomorrow, I'll do it when. But once you know the timeline, something about your brain, your reticular activating system, causes you like a heat-seeking missile to go, because now you're on a mission. Okay, you have a finish line to cross, and you can chart your progress. So as you're going out and you're putting all these things together, overscheduling is going to come into place. People are going to want your time. Everybody wants a piece of your time. We're all fighting. Everyone's fighting for your attention, and it's difficult to cut through the stuff. And so by knowing your priorities, knowing your values when you set up your schedule, because you know your overarching goal, now you know what to say no to. And it's difficult because we don't want to say no to our friends and family or associates or whoever or whatever, but you have to remember our goal and your why in life. And you shouldn't have a problem saying no to somebody necessarily, or to something, because you're going for something of greater value. And if you're winning in life, that's better for all of us and everybody else around you overall. And so you are going to get tasked, you're going to get sometimes overwhelmed or overburdened. So know what to say no to, and it's okay to delegate things. If you have a task, delegate. My wife has talents that I don't have. She's an amazing, awesome cook. I don't have that skill set like she does, and it's a passion of hers. So guess who takes care of the cooking in the home? She does. And it's a blessing to both of us because now I get to work and focus on my study and my work and my life project while she takes care of that, and also simultaneously that's her passion. So it's a win-win for both of us. And so as you're going out throughout your day, you know, and your plans, and you have it all set up and structured, you know, things are going to come our way that actually are going to be a good opportunity, because when we know what our ultimate goal is, you know, life is like going to be congruent. Okay, that's what you want. Then it's to begin, like using the law of attraction, it's going to bring in things into your existence that you don't know yet. So you do the best you can for what you can see, and then life's going to give you a nugget or a gem. You're like, oh yeah. So you are going to have to disregard some of the things that you had planned because now you have a new opportunity. So it's okay to have an audible or change strategies. You don't want to change your ultimate goal, but you can change your strategies to get there or achieve it even faster. But if something does come along and it derails you, that's okay. If you realize that your strategy didn't work, even though your goal remains the same, you just start over, and sometimes you got to cut your losses and begin from scratch. But you can learn from this, and you've gained wisdom from this experience, from the failure or the setback, and you can begin again more intelligently. So this is going to take a lot of practice, and practice makes perfect, practice makes progress. And if you don't quit and you keep with it because you know your why, you're going to continue to get better. You're going to get smoother at this. You're going to be like a machine, okay? A rumbling machine operating on all cylinders. A great question to ask yourself is this moving you closer towards your goal? And that's one way to have your priorities and to shift things around, you know, to get things and move things out of the way. And you want to practice using that question. Is this moving me closer to my goal, or is it not? And you want to make sure that you're always staying on track by asking that question. It's an empowering question. What's the most valuable use of my time is another excellent question that I love asking myself, that I've continually asked myself over the years, and now it's habitual, and it's just part of a guiding principle in my life. And I've seen the maximum effectiveness from it. Another great affirmation is I'm productive. I'm a hustler. I'm productive. And you start using that, and it's just like a mental pump up. And you use it, you know, while you're driving your car. I'm productive. I'm productive. I'm going to be productive today. I use my time well. You start doing that, it feels good. You start having that vibration. You start rocking and rolling your body. It puts you engaged, and it gets you activated to, you know, execute your goals. On a side note, we also have our workspaces. You want to make sure those things are clean and clear. They're well organized. So that way, when you are actually focusing on a task, you can have single-minded focus and be in harmony so that you can use all your mental powers to focus on it and complete it in the most efficient amount of time. There is a time and place and a context for multitasking, say especially like if you're like a cook and you have, you know, if it's Thanksgiving dinner, Thanksgiving meal, and you have the turkey going there, and you have the potatoes, and you have the pie, and you want to serve it like at, you know, at a certain time, you have to be multitasking. And a little bit of your life is multitasking, because it's not just, you know, I want to be the richest guy in the world, but then you don't take care of your health. You'll probably never get rich because you'll probably die too young because you didn't take care of your health or whatnot. So we all have all these things in balance. And we want to be wise to go with the flow of our lives, and that's probably the most important philosophy. I like to think back in biblical days and Old Testament days and just super life origin days. These people lived like thousands of years, or hundreds of years at least, right? How did they do this? I believe because they were walking with God, and they were going at their own pace. They weren't trying to be overly efficient. You could be hyper efficient, but not overly, where it breaks you down. And so you want to go with the flow and the rhythm of your life. You want to take times for rest. Even God rested on the seventh day. So you want to take time for rest and relaxation so that you can get restored, and so you can go back and achieve your goals. So enjoy and luxuriate the gift of rest and relaxation. It's a gift and you deserve it. So now that we're in ease and we're in this nice flow of our life, and we're taking in these time management tips, you know, you're not going to be able to catch everything, and that's okay. That goes along with this philosophy. You're going to have blind spots, but have some grace for yourself, and believe that, you know, at least you're moving towards your goal. And as they say, you know, happiness is progress. Okay? So go out there, execute your goals. Remember that tomorrow is another day. And yet, there's only so many tomorrows, as Michael Landon said, and life is short. So, you know, make your life awesome, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, love with freedom.